Hi guys, welcome back to another video. Today I just want to talk about the current state of Rivals ranked, how everything feels in Season 6, and just kind of go over how it feels and how my takes on it from as an Eternity player, just my point of view on it all. So, the first thing I want to talk about with Rivals ranked and how it's been this season especially is just how the matchmaking works, the matchmaking system in general. The matchmaking really does, it supports time investment over actual skill. So the more time you play the game, the higher rank you'll actually get. You don't have to be the greatest to maintain a high rank anymore. You can just put more hours than everyone else, and you can maintain the rank. So I think I think that the problem there really does lie with just the matchmaking system itself. They need to change it from time investment to more skill based. Like, it really should matter, like, your skill when we're talking about Rivals and ranking up and getting to the higher ranks. Along with that, along with the rank, like that being important, I think with the distribution, the time distribution and rank right now, I think that another thing that need to work on and fix is just the meta. The meta has been the same since the game release, unfortunately. We haven't really had much of a meta shift, like a drastic meta shift in the game. It's been triple support ever since the game released. Along with triple support, it's been poke DPS. Hela has always been good. Phoenix released, she was immediately amazing. They nerfed her Beyblade she had, but she's still really, really strong. And it makes the game feel really stagnant from where it should be. They should be having multiple different metas every season, trying to switch up the metas. And with how short seasons are, switching up the meta should be a every 2 seasons change, not an every season change to fix up the meta, to shake up the meta. But they do need to shake up the meta from where we are now. It's getting really annoying just seeing the same characters every game because every other character in the game isn't good enough to compete against them. And then with shaking up the meta and how short the seasons are, I think Celestial rank, the whole Celestial rank, I think should just be removed from the game. It's statistic wise, it's got I think it's got like the least amount of players in it, because you're either GM or your Eternity. Those are the two gates. Celestial doesn't do anything. There's nothing in Celestial there's no reason for the seasons being so short to have a Celestial rank anymore. If the seasons were longer, I can understand it needing a Celestial rank, but until they increase season length, I don't think there's a reason to have Celestial as a rank. Along So, thinking about that, after that, I think that's the best matchmaking changes they could do. They could remove performance-based point distribution. That will help with the thrower problem in the game too, because people will stop playing. They'll get a good stat line, and if the game looks lost to them, they'll just stop playing the game and just have the good stat line, so it doesn't look like they threw. So they'll keep their points. That needs to be changed completely, because that incentivizes throwing and just giving up on the game mid-match instead of fully completing the game and trying your hardest to win, which is just negative for the game. It's negative for the game in the grand scheme of everything. The second thing I truly want to talk about, leading with that, would be the throwers. The game's mental state, like, this game is not gaining players because the game is so toxic to new players, because if you're not doing well, you're throwing the game. The community is extremely toxic and isn't really welcoming to new people, and it's really hard to see, because with a community that's not welcoming to new people, the game will not grow. It's going to stagnate and die, and start to die out, because the people that have put up with the game are getting tired of it. But I really think people need to. The game is not it's not a super competitive game. You cannot play this game super competitively. And that's what people need to realize, is this game cannot be played super competitively. This game is very casual, friendly, fun, and just fun with the friends. It's something that I've struggled with, is toxicity, and I need to work on, because there's just no reason for it in this game. There's no reason for it in gaming in general. But yeah, so the toxic community is really bringing a handle down on this game, and it's really unfortunate. The next thing I want to talk about is power creep. The meta is not changing consistently, and just characters being nerfed or buffed willy-nilly has really caused a lot of characters in the game to be so far power crept and just unviable, unplayable. Because why would I play Widow when I can play Hela and do basically the same thing? Because Widow doesn't have a one-shot potential anymore, and Hela has the 2-tap at a faster rate of fire with higher damage and is just easier to play. So characters like Widow, you got Psylocke's getting power crept now. But like Iron Man is just completely out of the game because of the meta and it doesn't change. Storm's completely out of the game because the meta doesn't change. Like all these characters are just so, like Blade will never have a chance to shine. He can never really be the character we want him to be because he is just so much weaker than Hela and Phoenix. These two characters do way too much. So does Moon Knight. Hawkeye is ridiculous. Punisher, the meta has not shifted from these characters since release. And it's really caused, and they're the ones that are balanced the most and changed the most, along with Namor. These characters are all changed along with Dive, but characters like Squirrel Girl, these characters just aren't touched. They're just left to their own devices. Every other character is getting health buffs, damage buffs, new utility, new team ups, new this, new that. These characters don't get anything. They're just left with what they have, and they stay the same character for 3 seasons straight. And it really hurts them and causes them to get power crept by everything else that's going to consistently change. The devs really need to work on changing things to be more positive, like every character to be more positive, so they all have a spot in the game. Right now, every DPS does not have a spot in the game. It goes with tanks as well. You got like Thing. Venom hasn't been changed at all. He fell out of the meta because every other character got buffed to insanity, and he's not getting anything. So he just fell out of the meta. Same with Thing. Dive is in the meta because Dive characters are just so much weaker than Poke, so why would I play Thing? And Thing sucks into Poke. You can't play Thing into Punisher, Hela, or Phoenix. And it's really causing a major problem with that. The biggest power creep you can see in the game is Winna. Pretty much all the supports in the game, there was like half of them had 250 health originally, and now they're almost all of them have 275. She, with Mantis damage buff, could one-shot 250. She can no longer one-shot pretty much every support in the game, and she has very little value because of that. She has no pressure for the backline when there's so much healing in the game, and she has a very slow TTK. So it's really unfortunate to see that when it comes to power creep and just how characters are just getting power crept out of the game by all these other characters that are just so strong. Like you got characters like Groot who are just so strong, they do literally everything, and then you have a character like Thing who has his niche, but he's just not strong enough to compete with any of the other tanks besides like maybe Hulk. And then it really shines at DPS when it's been Poke meta since the game's release, and it's, you know, a year later and we're still playing Poke, we're still playing the same game, and it hasn't changed. Like, yeah, you'll have your good Spider-Mans, your niche players, but like, shouldn't they get a chance to have a meta and then not just be the same meta for the same players every single season? And then we look at leaderboard, and the leaderboard has not changed. The top 10 players have always been supports pretty much every season. That is not why. Why is there no one good enough in anything else? That's not the way it is. The support category is just too strong. These characters are too strong compared to the rest of the roster. They do damage, they heal a lot, they do damage, and most of them can just completely cancel out an ultimate without even investing an ultimate of their own. That's how strong their cooldowns are. That's my third topic. I got one more thing to talk about before I head out for the night. The best things that Rivals, I'm just gonna put everything together and talk about what the best thing Rivals devs could do here. I think the best things they could do for the game in the next couple of seasons, doesn't have to be all at once, it's a lot, but I think the best things they can do is they can completely remove performance-based points. That will help with the throwers, and that'll help with toxicity in the game because people will actually try to win from start to finish instead of just leaving the game or throwing and giving up. I think another big problem with the game is there is no neutral game in Rivals. There is no real neutral game in Rivals. There is building ults and using ults. There's no I gotta pick doing this unless you're playing like Hawkeye. There's no I gotta pick doing this. There's no I gotta pick doing this. There's I did this and won. I built my Gambit ult first. Fight's over. You lose. Which I don't think that's how the game should be looked at. It should not be looked at like I'm trying to build Gambit ult. That is it. I don't care about anything else. There's no reason to play for anything else. I'm gonna build my Gambit ult and then I'm gonna win. And then that, with Gambit, that leads into triple support. And the final thing I think they need to work on is triple support. Triple support is such a big problem because the amount of healing in the game doesn't allow most characters to be played. And that it causes power creep, and it causes characters to truly struggle in how they're playing the game currently. So we got like Gambit Loki right now. In current season, Gambit Loki, if you run Gambit Loki with a third support, it is the most broken thing in the game. You cannot beat it unless you copy it, period. If they know what they're doing and they play it, you cannot beat it unless you copy it. They does too much healing. Gambit Ult is too powerful, so there's no counter. There's no real counter to it at the end of the day. Along with that, you have another support ult, which is just gonna keep everyone alive. So you're gonna be consistently cycling ult with Gambit ults because you have Gambit Loki, so you're just non-stop cycling. So you're playing the ult game still, which ruins the neutral game. You're playing, and then when the enemy DPS tries to do anything, what's the point? You have a support ult already for it, and then you just jump, and then the DPS ult is completely useless. It's really gotten to the point in the game where the only characters that are important currently, would be your supports, and it causes a lot of problems. I have an idea of how they could fix it. Is for triple support, I think the best thing they could do to fix this and solve this problem would be to take 3 support. We have it where it is now. I think if you have 2 supports, you get nothing changes. It stays the same. But I think once you add the 3rd support, I think you add reduced returns on healing. But to do that, you would also have to reduce the amount of damage in the game, and then you can reduce all healing in general. The TTK in this game is insanely fast for most characters. So if they reduce damage in this game and reduce healing, we wouldn't be seeing as many triple support comps. And if they also, along with that, they take it so where if you have 3 supports, or 4 supports, any more supports you have than 2, you get reduced returns on all your supports, so they all heal less and build their ults less, which would really help the fact that the game is really hard to do anything in when support ults are just so strong and they do everything, while other characters struggle to do anything with their ult because Luna Snow pressed Q, and it is now 6 seconds of no one can really die unless you perfect combo. You're talking this, that Venom combo, the crazy mag ults. It's really unfortunate to see that DPS struggle this hard when DPS is supposed to be the hard role, the role that has the most skill expression, and there's no skill expression in DPS right now when supports have just the instant one button, nothing happens. So I think if they truly take all of that, they ban tracker apps. I think tracker apps should be a permanent bannable offense. I do not like people just being able to see on someone's account and completely ban out their characters. That is using a third-party software to give you an unfair advantage over the other players. I think if they shake up the meta, they nerf poke, they give something to these other characters that are getting power crept so they can do something. I think if they remove Celestial rank, because that rank just has the least amount of players in it. Why do we have this rank still in the game when the seasons are so short? No one gets through it. And it's just an interesting place to keep a gap for everyone, so no one can get through that. I think as well as time invested. So another one would be time invested should not determine your rank. It should be opposite. Your rank should be the skill determines your rank, not time invested. Time invested determining rank is bad. I think them removing the performance-based point distribution would be perfect. I think to fix the meta, to give us a healthier meta, they need to consistently be changing the metas. They have such short seasons. They could do this. They could consistently change up the meta and shake up the meta and give us a more fresh game every season, and that would keep everyone coming back every month. Because the seasons are only a month long. They're not long, so they could change that up and make it so, this month is dive, this month is poke, this month is front to back, and then triple support needs to be addressed at the end. And if once they change and nerf that is what I'm thinking is gonna be perfect. And then lastly, give us a neutral game that's normal, not just I want to ult. If they take all these ideas and they truly think and build off it, I think this game could be a lot better than it is right now. Building off of all this would help the toxicity in the game as well, which is the other big section. But I think if they take all of this, it'll help with the toxicity, it'll help with the matchmaking, it'll help with the power creep, it'll help with it all. But if you guys could let me know what your guys' thoughts are on it. I stream the game live every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 10 p.m. EST. I'm open to you guys coming and discussing with me because I'm very interested to see what you guys have. So if you guys could like, comment, and sub, that would be awesome. All right, thank you very much. Bye.